Yo, what's up, world? Welcome back to the channel. APW Sports signing in, and welcome back to another Power Rankings. Week 12 has concluded, and we are now heading into Week 13. God, this season has went by fast. But we're heading into Week 13 of this NFL season, and it's time to give my grades for each team. But before I get into that, make sure you guys leave this video a like as it continues to help this channel to grow and to beat the YouTube algorithm. And if you are one of the people that are not subbed, go ahead, click the subscribe button and notification bell so you will not miss any of the content that I post on this channel. But without further ado, let's dive into it. Okay, first we are going with the Arizona Cardinals, coming off of yet another close loss. And we're going to put the Cardinals... This is a tough team to rank, but I'm going to end up in a C. Like I said before, I didn't believe in this team in the beginning of the season. I didn't believe them before the season. I really don't believe them now. This team is just too inconsistent. They be having leads and then they blow them, or sometimes they look good. It's just a wildly inconsistent football team. Next is the Atlanta Falcons. I'm also going to put them at a C tier. They haven't been looking great the past couple of weeks. They have not been looking great on either side of the ball. They've been in gambling games. Even though they beat the Bears last week, they had moments where that offense did look great. The passing game is still struggling. And I'm going to put the Atlanta Falcons at a C. Next is the Baltimore Ravens. After a heartbreaking loss to the Jacksonville Jaguars, I'm going to drop this team to a B, mainly because they have the biggest trouble closing out games. This will be a way better record football team if they could just close out football games. So I'm going to put them at a B. Next is the Buffalo Bills. I'm still going to have them at the S tier. I still believe they're one of the best teams in football. They've had a really close game against a very not so great Detroit Lions team, but they were able to come back and they were able to win that football game late. And I'm going to get them at the S tier. Next is the Carolina Panthers. They are coming off of a, I'm going to say, surprising win over the Denver Broncos. Even though that, I'm going to still put them at a D. It's still not a very good football team, even though Sam Darnold did give this team a little bit of a jolt, a little bit of a boost. I'm going to put them at a D. Next is my Chicago Bears. I'm going to put this team at a D. The injuries are piling up. I did do a video about should Justin Fields actually sit the year. I'll leave my thoughts in that video, but this team, the injury bug is piling up. Offensively, the passing game still couldn't get going. Defensively, the injuries, and on top of that, the lack of talent is really starting to show on this football team. I love my Bears, but they're just not good. Next is the Cincinnati Bengals. His team is playing a lot better over the last couple of weeks. Even without Jamar Chase, this passing game is still explosive. They're running the football a lot better, and defensively, they are still creating some havoc. And I'm really liking what I've been seeing from the Cincinnati Bengals team over the past couple of weeks, so I'm going to put them at a B. Next is the Cleveland Browns. They are coming off of a surprising win against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, but I'm still going to put this team at a C. Defensively, they haven't been living up to any expectations. We know offensively, they're kind of limited in the passing game with Jacoby Brissett. Nick Chubb in the running game has been very explosive for this football team. It's just defensively, they have just been very underwhelming, and I'm going to put them at a C. Next is the Dallas Cowboys. I am going to put this team, I'm going to put them at the A tier. I still believe in this defense. I still believe that this offense is really starting to click. So I am going to put them at the A tier. You know what? Matter of fact, I'm going to change that. I'm going to put the Dallas Cowboys at an S. I'm just going to put them at an S. Defensively, they have been wrecking, having Michael Parsons looking like Defensive Player of the Year candidate. And Tony Pollard has been a very welcome weapon on that offense. Next is the Denver Broncos. I'm going to put them at a D. Russell Wilson is just a shell of himself at this point. The defense should have been better than what they are playing right now. And this team is just extremely underwhelming. So I'm going to put them at a D. Next is the Detroit Lions. I'm going to give them a C. They hang very tough against a very good Buffalo Bills football team. I'm liking what I'm seeing from this Detroit Lions team. It's a team that fights hard. They've been improving, especially defensively. Offensively, they're starting to get a little bit of rhythm back, even though they haven't been winning a lot of ball games. I'm really impressed about what I'm seeing from this very young football team. Next is the Green Bay Packers. I hate to do it, but I'm dropping them to a C. This team is very underperforming. The defense has not been good at all, not living up to any expectations. And on top of that, you're dealing with the rib injury to Aaron Rodgers, along with the broken thumb, which I think Aaron Rodgers makes excuses. But anyway, offensively, Christian Watson is starting to become a real good find for him until he can start really learning how to catch the football very well. But this team, very underperforming. Next is the worst team in football, the Houston Texans. They fight, just not talented. Next is the Indianapolis Colts, who got upset by the Pittsburgh Steelers. This team, offensively, when they don't run the football, they look bad. When they don't run the football, because they have a tendency to get away from the running game, when they don't utilize Jonathan Taylor, they look bad. And defensively, they haven't been necessarily what we thought it would be, even though Leonard has been ruled out for the rest of the year. But this team has just been very underperforming. And Matt Ryan, we thought was going to come into the team and really get them better, and he has been underperforming. Next is the Jaguars. I put them at a C. A very, very impressive win by Trevor Lawrence and that offense. And I really like what I'm starting to see from Trevor Lawrence. I've always been one that say this Jacksonville Jaguars team, I think they're about a year away and a couple of moves away from really being competitive in that division. And that division hasn't really been it all year. Next is Kansas City Chiefs. I'm going to put them at an S tier. This offense is still explosive. This defense has been very stout. This defense is playing way better football. And Chris Jones up front, one of the better interior defensive linemen that we have in this league. And this team is just very explosive, and they can cause havoc defensively. Next is the Los Angeles Chargers. They didn't choke for once. I'm going to put them at a B. The injuries have really cost this team. I still like what I'm seeing from Justin Herbert. Defensively, they've been so-so, especially with the injuries to Jackson, the injuries to Bosa. But I'm really liking what I'm seeing from this offense. And I think over the next few games, we're really going to see what this Chargers team is made of. Next is the LA Rams. I'm going to drop them to a C. This ball team is it's not good right now. They have injuries to Cooper Kupp. Allen Robinson's out for the year. Matthew Stafford has been in and out of the lineup. This team is just not good. And defensively I want to say they've been doing the best that they can, but this offense hasn't really been doing much, even with Stafford in the lineup. So I'm going to put them in a C. Next is the Las Vegas Raiders. I'm also going to put the Raiders at a C. They're coming off of a very, very good win over a Seattle Seahawks team who is a very impressive football team. Josh Jacobs absolutely exploded, and I believe this team needs to give Josh Jacobs the football more. They are a little bit of a passing team with Carr and Adams, but they need to get Josh Jacobs the football a little bit more, and the secondary is just not good. The pass rush and Max Crosby has been saving them, but that secondary is just not good. Next is the Miami Dolphins. I'm also going to put the Dolphins at the S tier. Tua has been playing like an MVP candidate ever since he come back from that concussion. Hill, Waddle, and that defense led by Xavier Howard has been a really, really good defense. And this Miami Dolphins team has just been very, very impressive over this past few weeks. And the winning streak with Tua just continues. Next is the Minnesota Vikings. They looked really good, and I hate to do it, but I'm going to put them at an S tier. As much as it hates to say it as a Bears fan, this Vikings team is very good. Justin Jefferson at this point is the best wide receiver in football. The way he gets open and the way that Kirk Cousins has been playing, this is a really, really good football team. And defensively with Danielle Hunter up front and Za'Darius Smith, they've been playing some really good football with Kendricks and Harrison Smith on the defensive side of the ball. And Patrick Peterson is starting to look like the Arizona Cardinal Patrick Peterson. This team is dangerous. Next is the New England Patriots. They are at a B tier for me. I think it's an average football team. Mac Jones did have a coming out party a bit against the Minnesota Vikings defense. That is a really good defense. Defensively, they've been so-so. Offensively, they've been so-so all year. It's just defensively last week against Minnesota, that was the so-so game for them, and the offense was starting to explode. Next is the New Orleans Saints. This team needs a quarterback. Andy Dalton isn't it, and they refuse to put Jameis back in the lineup for whatever reason. Chris Olave from the Ohio State has been a really good find for them in the draft. Defensively, they've been rigged by injuries. Marshawn Lattimore has been out the past few games. Cam Jordan has been playing solid. It's just this team needs a quarterback at this point. Next is the New York Giants. I'm going to put them in a B tier. They really, really fall hard against the Dallas Cowboys team. That is a very solid team. You know what? I'm going to move them to an A in my opinion. I'm going to move the Giants to an A. Daniel Jones hasn't really cost them a lot of games, and Daniel Jones has been solid, and Saquon Barkley and that defense has been keeping them in ball games, and they were in that ball game late. It's just it got away from them. Next is the New York Jets. I'm going to put the New York Jets at a B. Mike White has been a surprise for them. That even though they were going up against the Bears defense that was bad, he still made his throws. Defensively, they really buckled down after the first two drives of the Bears. So I'm going to put the Jets at a B. Next is the Eagles, S tier. Jalen Hurts looking like an MVP candidate. That defense can hurt you in so many ways. The running attack can hurt you. The passing attack can hurt you. Could this be the most complete team in football? I'm really starting to see that. Next is the Pittsburgh Steelers off an upset win against the Indianapolis Colts. Going to put them at a C. Offensively, they had their struggles in the third quarter against the Colts, but they really started to find something late. And have they found something with the George Pickens to Pickett connection? I think so. George Pickens is, when he gets the football and when he's able to get the football, he can do some dangerous things. Next is the Seattle Seahawks. I'm going to put the Seahawks at a B. Defensively, they did not do anything against Josh Jacobs. Geno Smith is looking like a Pro Bowl quarterback at this point. And we're looking at a Seattle Seahawks football team that had very low expectations coming in, and they're exceeding them all, and they're competing in that NFC West division. Next is the San Francisco 49ers. We're going to put them at an A tier. Christian McCaffrey, big find. Defensively, they shut out the Saints with so many turnovers and so many big plays. And we're going to see what the health of Deebo Samuel is looking like. But this 49ers team is very dangerous, and they're starting to click at the right time. Next is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I'm going to put them at a C. This football team has not been good all season. Tom Brady has been up and down. Defensively, they've been plagued by a ton of injuries. And this offensive line has not been able to get the running game going at all for the most part this season. So I'm going to put them at a C. Next is the Tennessee Titans. I'm going to put them at an A despite the loss to the Cincinnati Bengals. This football team defensively has been playing solid. This football team is, I think, maybe just an elevated quarterback play away from really being contenders. Tannehill has been solid, but I don't think he's the quarterback that's going to take this team over the hump. But Derrick Henry in his running game, very explosive. Next, and last but not least, Washington Commanders, Taylor Heinicke. I've said it all year. He has to be the quarterback for this team going forward. They've really done nothing but win football games with Taylor Heinicke. This defense has been playing a lot better down the stretch with Sweat, with Allen up front in their defensive line. They've been playing some really good football up front. And Robinson in the running game has been very good with Gibson. Of course, Terry McLaurin from The Ohio State. This football team has been playing a lot better with Taylor Heinicke at quarterback than they ever played with Carson Wentz. So, hey, these are my rankings. Make sure you guys leave this video a like as it continues to help this channel to grow and beat the algorithm. Comment you guys' thoughts down below. And as always, click the sub button and notification bell so you can not miss any of the videos that I post. But I'm APW Sports signing out. Make sure you guys stay safe. Have a great next day, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.